Hello, this is Ken from Ken Astro, and today we'll be processing some Hubble data. So we're gonna go to the database and download it, and we're gonna end up with a result of something like this. So today I think we're gonna do it on some Saturn data. I'm just gonna go to the database and find some, so I'll show you how I do my processing. So the first thing you gotta do is go to the Hubble site here. So then you go to the main Hubble site here and images. So here there's a lot of different images here. Just select solar system, submit, and this is where I find my data, but I'll put the links of some of the data sets in the description, so you don't need to go through here. But the one I'm going to be using is this one, the Opal Grand Tour, which is the Ultra Planet Atmospheres Legacy program. So it pretty much images like every couple months or so to monitor the planets. So when you click into here, there's caption, credits, whatever, but what it wants is the data description, which shows that the HST observations include those from this program from A. Simon. So you open the link, and this will lead you to the proposal for the program. And here, and if you scroll down, here's all the data. So I'll find some Saturn data. So just scroll around: Jupiter, Neptune, Saturn. So since I want to do Saturn, I'll have a look here. So it's all the same dates. I want to find some more interesting ones, but I guess we'll just do this. So yeah. Okay. So there's a lot of data here. Here's Uranus, and yeah. Okay. So what you want to download, because if you look here, there is the filters, and that's the one that you want to take note of, because you want to have to create a RGB color image from this data. So you ideally want 631, 502, and 395, because this one is red, this is green, and this is blue. So you want to take note of that, because we're later gonna have to find the times to derotate and Winju post. So I'll just find a sequence of data. There's one here, there's also one down here that I can do. I'll just choose the one up here, and what you want is to mark these free, right? You want to mark these, and you want to press this, submit marked data for retrieval. So you press this, and you have to put your retrieval options in. So I'll just put my email. So here, and what you want to press on the bottom, because this is what files it'll send to the database for you to collect, because this is, we're going to send it to the FTP system, FTPS here. So you make sure to press DRZ. That's the one that is the actual raw data. So press here, and then you send the retrieval request. So now there's gonna be email, and I'll I'll wait for a bit and see what happens. Okay, so here I've found the email, and here is the retrieval status. So there will be two emails. One is your retrieval request, and this is the important one because it shows you the FTP host and your directory. So what you're gonna do is use FileZilla, which is the free FTP. So you download it and you open it up. Let's see, FileZilla. Okay, and there are a couple of things you want to put in, of course. So the host is archive.tsci.edu. Username anonymous. Password your email. And you press quick connect. Yes. And you're in. So what you want to press, stage here, right, stage anonymous, and the file is anonymous 03206. So right here, and you click into here, and here's our FITS files that we have requested. So we select these, and I'll just drag them into my desktop here, and it's going to start downloading. It's pretty quick, right? So we're just going to have to wait for it to download. And right now I'll just open our next stage, which will be converting our raw FITS files into TIFFs. So the software we're going to use is FITS Liberator, which is by ISA, I think, or yeah. So you go to here, norlab.edu, go here, and you press download. Yeah. And yeah, just click one of these, right? So we'll open it up. FITS Liberator. Yeah. Right here. And it's still transferring. So you gotta wait for a little bit. Okay, we have downloaded all our free files here. So red, green, and blue. So we're going to open up red first. So we just click here, and we're going to open up FITS Liberator, and this is what comes out. So right now you see the levels here. You should adjust it. So the white level is at the edge of the blue, and the black to be at the edge of this side, and that would give you the most contrast, right? So we just carefully adjust it. Okay, that looks pretty good. And as for the white, I want to push it until it starts clipping, and pretty much like this. This is clipped. You just want to adjust the level until it does not clip. Or you could use the picker tool and just select. This part is clipped, but it really doesn't matter, right? Because it looks pretty good. So we'll just save it, and I generally will save it and add the red or whatever filter it is. You can check it in the proposal search here, EZQ that I've opened here. Right, EZQ is the red filter 631N. So we will save this as red, and we will do this for our other filter, the green filter. And this one is it's a lot easier. Sometimes the levels is kind of weird, and this one is pretty easy to adjust because the other one was really compressed. So this one you pretty much just adjust the white levels to the edge here, or you can move it to the edge. That works as well to even the color balance. But I will just brighten it up until something like this. I can try and match the levels actually. So make it a little bit dimmer just to compare it. Yeah, something like this, I think. So we'll save this as the green filter and open the blue over here. And for this one, we pretty much just do the same thing. But I noticed that the levels is of course different, but you want to make sure the brightness of the rings is somewhat similar, and we'll save it like this. Saturn usually is quite dim in blue, so like especially the disk. The rings are quite bright though in blue. So now we can close fits, and we can sharpen it. I usually sharpen it before WinGPost because sometimes the filters have a different amount of sharpening that you want to apply. So I generally use IMPPG to sharpen this. So I open my files, red filter. Let me check. Might have to convert the filters. Sometimes the TIFFs that it comes out it doesn't really work that well. WinGPost doesn't really recognize them. So I generally, if this occurs, I'll just flatten, put into GIMP, flatten it, and save it as a TIFF with an extra F. And make sure to just turn off everything and export. And this generally gets the job done. So now if you open it here, now it opens, yeah. So now in IMPPG, of course you can use the Lucy Richardson to sharpen. I generally don't like it because it does give you a little bit of grain. So I just disable it and I use the unsharp mask. Generally don't overdo it because you can sharpen it later, but I usually use about 1.3 sigma and move the amount until the noise starts coming out. Somewhere like this, I think, maybe a little bit less in the sigma. Something like this. This looks really sharp now. Like the difference is significant, and you can see the little spots and stuff on Saturn. So Control A and save. I will save it as the TIFF here. Yeah, I'll just do red Saturn, and we do the same for green. We have to convert it back here. Open it up. Sharpening looks good, so I don't think I need to adjust it. Might increase the sigma though. A little bit less on sharpening. That looks good. Save. Okay. I'll do blue now. Flatten, save, and this is the last one. Don't think I need any different sharpening, so that looks good. Yeah. Blue Saturn. Okay. Our next step is to open up WinGPOS. This is because we need to derotate our data because the different channels are in different times. This is especially important for Jupiter, but it's also relatively important in Saturn, especially of this high quality, because there are little storms around, like the polar areas. So it would help a lot that the channels are aligned. So we go image measurements as always. Open it up. I'll open my files. Red Saturn here. So all you have to do is find the time, 2021, September 13th. The UT is 0046-4 and R for image info. And now we just have to move the outline frame down here. What we gotta do is use the arrow keys, rotate it in. Also make sure to use mirrored inverted image, because when it comes out of fits, it usually flips it. So you want to take note of that. So we'll just move here, rotate it, should work. And if it's too small, like the box, then make sure to use the page up and page down to control it. But also I do notice that it's actually the normal image. That might have happened because of the GIMP thing. So I'll just use the normal here, but sometimes you wanna check. So I rotate it here. Might need to make it a little bit bigger, and just make sure to very, very carefully align everything by adjusting the arrow keys, using shift for a smaller increment, And that looks pretty good, I feel. So we just save it, IMS settings, and we do it for the rest of our images. The time for the green is 50 and 1, just round it, G, and we save it, and blue. And blue is 5349. 49, or just do 54. Yeah, just do 54. Okay, and save. So we finished our measurements. Now we have to do our derotation, and we don't do it in images like we normally do. We do it in RGB frames. So here there are 3 channels. This is my older derotation. I'll clear it out, and you insert your derotated one. Let's see. I think mine, yeah, these are the IMS settings. Insert all of these in. Options, turn this off if there's no moons, and just change the image size, observer Hubble, and we'll save it in downloads. Yeah, and we compile image. And yeah, this is what comes out. It looks really, really nice. Zoom in. So yeah, that looks really, really good. Really, really sharp. And we can now go into astrosurface to do some final adjustments. So first thing I usually do, I'll just crop it in, right? And what I also like doing is doing a rotation, something like this, or like adjust the angle a bit. Usually looks a lot cooler. So yeah, I'll just do it something like this, right? And the next thing I would do is do a little bit more sharpening. It's very slight, but I would just do like maybe 10% sharpening and just have a little look. Pixel size, a little bit of noise reduction. Okay, that looks pretty good. So now, what else I would do is align the RGB, because if you notice the rings have a little bit of error. So just press align, and actually there's error on that side now. So if there is a problem, this has a little bit more. So I will just try and keep them relatively the same. So okay, minus 2.5, I just divided by 2, minus 1.2, 0.1, 0.22, and minus 0.1, align. Okay, let's see, no, minus 0.5. That looks better, yeah. Okay. Just helped balance out the rings a bit more. And something also important to do is white balance. Usually the rings are not as blue as they seem in real life, so you want to auto white balance just the rings, and I'll limit the brightness so it wouldn't oversaturate. So yeah, okay. And something else is usually the rings are actually more red, so you use gain RGB to slowly tune the colors a bit. Usually you try and increase the red a bit more, lower the blue a bit, or increase the green a bit, and that usually gives a pretty nice result, pretty warm result. Yeah. And also lower the brightness a little bit, because it's kind of clipping. Okay. Something else I will do, a little bit of levels, just brighten it here. Noise reduction. Honestly, not too necessary because Hubble data is extremely sharp. Looks really cool. And what I always do is resize, maybe 2 times, but really kind of depends. So yeah, that looks really nice. So this is our processing. We'll probably flip it, I guess. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Pretty subjective. Yeah. So save the image. So we save it, and yeah, that's it. We've gotten some Hubble data all the way from the raw phase to a final process image. You can do this with anything. I've gotten some stacks of Jupiter, of Mars, of Uranus and Neptune even. There's even like stuff like Pluto or Ceres and stuff in the Hubble site. There's a lot of stuff to explore, right? Some links I'll probably put in the description, so you wouldn't need to dig around for some Mars stuff, because Mars hasn't really been an image lately, so you have to go back all the way to like 2018 or something to find those. So yeah, good luck processing this stuff. It's really fun, but it does take quite a bit of time. So yeah, clear skies everyone, and bye.